Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I remember a friend told me that she went on a date, and I think this guy had written a comic book and brought his comic book along to the date and read it to her.
He read it to her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a power move.
Yeah.
Did she hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's like... This is how we know that's the only interesting thing about that guy, because that's all he's leaning on.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your interests? Comic books. Any other interests? I wrote a comic book. Do you want to
Would
see
you
it?
like me to read it to you? Yes. No. Yes. Okay.
Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind Podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
And if you're here joining us, it's very likely that you love romantic comedies. Great news. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
Today we have
The Ugly Truth.
And before we jump in, I want to give a shout out to Claire, who messaged us on Instagram at Romcom Rewind, said obsessed with you guys and loved the leap year episode and the podcast on the whole. Thank you so much, Claire. She has a request, more Vince Vaughn movies like The Breakup or Couples Retreat. She enjoyed our commentary on Four Christmases. We do have Wedding Crashers on the way. I hope that appeases Claire. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, make sure you follow Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe. Leave a review. We love reading those. As you can see from Claire, we read as many of them as we can, and we comment and reply as we can. And follow us on Instagram at RomcomRewind. So, The Ugly Truth is a 2009 romantic comedy directed by Robert Slukitic. Might be saying that wrong. I apologize, Rob. It is it's Katherine Heigl's second highest grossing movie behind Knocked Up. It's the story of Abby, played by Katherine Heigl. She's a morning show TV producer in Sacramento. And Abby's kind of tightly wound up, kind of needs to be in control. Calamity strikes her when her TV station hires this guy, Mike Chadway, played by Gerard Butler. Mike already hosts a show called The Ugly Truth. Kind of feels like a Joe Rogan style, specifically for dating though, but he's definitely offensive. He's a little bit offside.
Yeah.
I think we can agree, chauvinistic, maybe misogynistic.
Morning. We have problems. Oh, Joy, there are no problems, only solutions.
I should warn you, this guy's a little rough around the edges. Say hello to our new guest commentator.
Who's this delightful creature?
I'm your producer.
I like your woman on top.
Oh. Stick to the script. You hear my voice? Just do what I say.
Promise you'll talk dirty?
Mike Chadwick brings in the ratings, so he gets hired at her TV station. And as you can guess, Abby being his producer, Abby and Mike really clash as they work together, and that is the lead-in for our story. What do you think about The Ugly Truth, Sarah?
I think in 2009, this movie was really funny.
Okay.
I think there are still lots of funny moments in this movie. This movie was okay. It had some really funny parts. I laughed out loud too. That's always a good thing. However, one thing I will note up front is that a lot of the jokes did not age well. There are jokes that are not jokes and never really should have been jokes to begin with.
Yeah.
Again, this movie is over 10 years old. A lot has changed in that time for the better. So, with that in mind, the movie was good. Just a few jokes aside.
Yeah, we hate to be like Debbie Downers, but, I'm just picturing if you're watching this movie for the first time in 13 years, there were moments where I recoiled in my chair being like, oh my God, wow, they actually made that joke. It's a strange watch in 2021 because I remember like you thinking this movie is hilarious.
Yeah.
And also it came at an interesting time because question, is this the most attractive Gerard Butler has been?
No, he did that drama. The one where he was in jail and then he breaks out of jail.
Oh, yes. He's like super smart,
yeah,
right?
I can't remember what it's called, but yes, he was.
Wait, that one? Really?
He was really attractive in that movie.
I thought you were going to say 300. Everybody thinks he's good looking in that.
He was in 300. Oh, he was really good looking in that too. I mean, he's genuinely good looking. I think he's really attractive.
So this is his third most attractive role, is what you're saying?
I guess so.
Okay.
It's really the third only, like the only movie I know him in other than that too.
Wait, P.S. I Love You we're going to do. He's also in that.
Oh, geez, he is.
Oh, geez, Sarah said.
It's the month of Gerard Butler.
That's so adorable.
I didn't realize that. I totally forgot he was in P.S. I Love You. Oh, he was also good in P.S. I Love You, but not good enough that I would remember.
Right.
Right?
Clearly, this one's more important, yeah.
Yeah.
So Gerard Butler, arguably extremely attractive in this movie. Katherine Heigl, kind of at the height of her powers, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And 2009 was when a lot of these movies were still coming out. We didn't hit the rom-com exodus between 13 and 18,
was
really?
Pretty close, I think.
The cliff was coming. We saw the waterfall. So, like, rewatching this movie is really strange because the acting is still really solid. Like, Katherine Heigl is an adorable actress.
Oh, she was great in this movie.
She was great in this movie. Gerard Butler is absolutely a smoke show.
And he was also really good in the movie, too.
Yeah.
Like, they were both really good.
But I find a lot of the charm of the comedy, it hit a little different.
It's worn.
It's I think like we don't want to beat this too dead, but it deserves a little asterisk at the beginning that, like, if you're going to rewatch this, there's some things that feel dated.
So the movie opens up with Abby putting out a whole bunch of fires, not literally but figuratively. She's, like you said, Devin, producer of a TV morning show, and basically is figuring out problems constantly. She just needs to constantly issues management everything that's going on around her. The show's a bit of a disaster, and she is really the only one holding everything together by like a string. The ratings are down, and they need something to pick them back up again. And to add, Abby is, like you said, a control freak who's very particular, very prepared, and not spontaneous at all.
No. and can I make a comment about the putting out fires and dealing with a lot of like I work in radio, and one of my old general managers said dealing with personalities is like trying to herd cats. And I think we saw that in the first scene where she has this big rap meeting and everybody's complaining about something, and she does grab hold of that meeting. But yeah, she is very tightly wound, and there's that date that she goes on.
Oh my God, yes, with Kevin Connolly. He's Just Not That Into You.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. He's also in Entourage. He is Eric in Entourage.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he hasn't really done much lately, but he was in actually both of these movies. So He's Just Not That Into You and this movie, The Ugly Truth, in the same year. They both came out in 2009.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So the date, we learn exactly who Abby is on this date.
Oh yes, we do.
Because she meets Eric, and she just knows every single meticulous thing about his personality. She essentially did a full background check on the guy.
No, she did do a background check on the guy.
Yeah.
Down to which car insurance he uses.
And then she also, he made the joke, he's like, well, I guess there's nothing to talk about. She replied with, oh, don't worry, I've got like speaking points if you want to. Oh, question number 6 is a good one. Let's do question 6 now. I actually love that she did that. Is it bad that I didn't hate that at all?
Yes, because I don't know what I would do in that situation. Like, I might tough it out for a little bit, but be like, oh my God, this is nuts. And I would probably dip like an hour in. Like, I'd be like,
Really?
and I would make up some excuse like, oh shoot, I forgot to do this, or pick somebody up or whatever. And I would probably figure out a way to leave.
I think the opposite.
Which is wild.
I would find that to be like, listen, I think I would know in my mind I'm never going to date this person, but I would find that very interesting. Like, this isn't a cookie cutter date. I've got an extremely interesting woman on my hands. I think I'd try to figure out, like, what don't you know about me? What's my mom's maiden name? Boom. You know, I'd start playing with her a little bit because...
Oh, yeah, I guess I could see that.
I mean, there's an opportunity. This isn't going to be a standard date. We know that, right? But also, I just appreciate somebody who comes to a meeting prepared. Is that bad?
A date is not a meeting.
I mean, in a way, it kind of is.
It shouldn't be.
Wait, no, it is literally a meeting. I am meeting you for the first time.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like meeting vibes. Like, are we on a Teams call? Like,
I really appreciated that about Abby. Like, hey, you're prepared. You went through a lot of effort to make sure this date goes well.
No, she went through a lot of effort to make sure that he wasn't like very strange,
True.
or
True.
that he was financially stable, that he wasn't going to give her the bill. She's very old school. She wants picnics.
She wants Prince Charming.
She wants flowers. She wants chocolate. She wants to be like, get
She
down
wants
on
him
your
to be
knees
sensitive,
and kiss
but
my
strong.
shoes.
Yeah. I think I'd have fun with her though. Like, hey, you know me so well. Why don't you order for me?
Okay,
See
and
if I
that
enjoy it.
well, then that makes sense.
I think that would be really interesting. I'd tell all my friends, I had the wildest date. I got this girl to guess what I would want for dinner. She got it right. She also knew my social insurance number. It was wild, guys. She knew where I lived. It was crazy. That's a fun conversation afterward.
I remember a friend told me that she went on a date, and I think this guy had written a comic book and brought his comic book along to the date and read it to her.
He read it to her?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a power move.
Yeah.
Did she hate it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really weird. It's like... Hold on. Where this date wasn't like in a classroom. This wasn't this wasn't reading day.
No, I don't think so.
Just...
I think they went to I don't know. I think they went to get drinks or something.
So
at a
he
bar.
genuinely brought a comic book of which he wrote himself
I believe
to,
so.
let's say, a restaurant.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
writing a comic book in itself is really cool, but don't bring it on a first date, a blind first date, and read it to that person.
Well,
that's different.
This is how we know that's the only interesting thing about that guy, because that's all he's leaning on.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your interests? Comic books. Any other interests? I wrote a comic book. Do you want to
Would
see
you
it?
like me to read it to you? Yes. No. Yes. Okay.
Oh God. So after the date, Abby obviously goes home alone. That's when we meet Mike Chadwick.
Yes, it is when we meet, but we also meet the other guy too.
Oh, we meet
Dr.
Colin,
Man.
yes.
Yeah, the
Do
entire.
you only know him as Dr. Man?
I do.
His name's Colin, Sarah.
I have written his name down as Dr. Man.
Okay, well then that is what
Or
we were referring
Man
to him
Doctor?
as.
Dr. Man.
No, definitely Dr. Man.
Yeah.
Who's Man Doctor?
I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, so I mean, first we meet Mike Chadwick.
Yes.
He is
yes.
physically on TV.
Yeah, her cat changes the channel when she's getting ready for bed.
And boop, the ugly truth comes on.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
This guy would be considered like a shock personality in 2009. Like we use the term shock jock. Kind of like women don't need tips for getting a man. You just need a Stairmaster because that is all we care about. You know, throw a BJ in there and you're good. So rewatching this movie, that was an immediate, ooh.
It was like Hitch, but not in a good way.
Oh, he's giving guys this
advice on
Yes.
how to, be in a relationship and how to act in this relationship, blah, blah, blah.
Well, Hitch was about love. He was trying to find people
Exactly.
true love.
That's what I
Gerard
mean.
Butler, Mike Chadwick, is trying to get guys laid. It's about lust.
100%.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Okay, so they have this crazy conversation. Abby ends up calling into the show.
So you're saying that men are incapable of love?
Oh, did I burst your little Harlequin romance bubble? What? Come on.
Well, the only thing you burst is your credibility. Men are completely capable of experiencing love.
Okay, I'll bite. Go on. Who's the guy?
What?
The guy. Mr. Wonderful. The one who's so capable of love. Who is he? What's he like?
He's smart. He's handsome, but he doesn't know it. He's successful, but in a job that means something. He loves red wine, picnics, classical music.
This is a guy in America, right? I mean, you're not calling from Europe or something.
He loves dogs, but he's more of a cat person. He never gets up before you on a Sunday morning.
And they have this conversation. And guess what? Turns out that her boss hired him to bring up the ratings because everyone loves him.
The very next day, because it's a
very
romantic
next
comedy and
day.
everything happens the very next day.
Well, everything happens in the span of 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll admit, he is good at his job. His advice is not sound. The whole interview with Georgia and Larry, so the newscast anchors, who are married in real life, they end up making out on local television.
Yeah, it's great. You know what?
He's good at his job.
I actually, there were a few moments in this movie where Mike Chadwick, he did tell the ugly truth in a way that I'm like, nah, that is true.
Let him be a man.
I let him be a man.
You have to let me be a man.
Let you be a man.
Let him be a man.
You have to let me be a man.
Simple as that. Now, you, Frowny McFlaccid, come on.
Oh, God.
So this movie, I think, really lives and breathes in those like TV moments, like what you're talking about with Georgia
and Larry.
When Georgia and Larry are on TV, like there is a little bit of whimsical beauty to this movie. Like it kind of feels like Morning Glory, you know, Rachel McAdams, Harrison Ford.
That was a
Break
good
for
movie.
commercial.
No. Let's do a sick, keep rolling no matter what.
What? When? This is my show.
Not right now, it isn't. Come on, Larry. I watched your show for years. You used to be this cool, confident cat. What the hell happened to you?
I found this movie actually captured a few of those moments in a really funny way.
One thing that bugged me was how they portrayed Abby's character as very desperate and ditzy at times. When it came to her job, she was very smart, logical, great at it, like just, you know, fantastic producer at her job. But when it came to dating and love, she was a hopeless mess.
Right.
My example for this is when her cat ends up in a tree and she has to go climb the tree to get him and sees a guy in the apartment across the way with only a towel on. He just came out of the shower and she gets all flustered. The branch breaks. She falls upside down and he hears her, rushes out to try and help her to get down from the tree, grabs his towel and hello. They just make her seem so ditzy throughout the entire thing. Like she's like, oh my God, look how cute he is. Oh, like
I didn't think they made her too ditzy. I thought she was definitely adorable. In like a
interesting take. Right?
Yeah.
You would think that that's adorable.
Yeah,
but it's
that's
like,
true.
Good God, you know?
Can we agree that is a horrible meet cute in real life?
Well,
because if a girl... Is
it?
Why are you what you like this?
Like,
it's because Mr. Doctor Man is really good looking that you're like,
yes,
hello, I love
and you're
this.
just like, oh wow, like why is that a bad meet cute?
Oh, I think it's horrible.
Okay, tell me why.
He saw you.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a shower, and all of a sudden there's a commotion outside, and I see a woman in a tree outside my bathroom
That
window.
is creepy. That's creepy.
I'm thinking, oh my God. And then she falls, and her skirt comes up over her head. She's upside down. So I can see a lot of what's going on downstairs for her.
Yeah.
Which is technically upstairs because she's upside down, whatever. And then when I go out to help her, she grabs my towel, and she can see my full-on package. Package is eye height for her.
Definitely.
I'm helping her down, and then I am never looking that person in the eyes ever again. There's just too much embarrassing stuff that happened in a span of 30 seconds. I think you're a peeping Tom. I think you're creepy. I also, saw a lot of you. You saw all of me. Sarah's pointing at herself like I'm talking to her.
I'm not. Like, what? No.
If that was you, I would think it's pretty creepy.
Okay, well, I wouldn't do that. However, yes, the fact I don't think he caught her. I don't think he caught her in the tree. But
what do you mean?
now that
outside
I know. Now that I think about it,
still.
But like, does he realize that the tree is at the level of his upstairs bathroom? Like that's something.
Definitely.
Oh, okay.
I would think that's
which
suspicious.
is probably why he doesn't want to go out with her in the first place.
Absolutely.
But he does have to fix her ankle, and then he gives her his number.
Yeah, which definitely could be like until that point, I thought he was still at least halfway.
Totally. Yeah, I think you're right.
And then I think so the charm with Mike Chadway's character is that he is correct at times.
He is.
Like I said, for example, later on, Abby calls Colin, Mr. Doctor Man.
Yes, because Mike calls out Abby again for not having a guy. So she goes and says, you know what? And she starts dialing the number for Dr. Man.
She's like, I'm going to get a date right now, and you're going to sit here and watch me get a date. Mr. Dr. Man is definitely trying to blow her off.
Big time.
Mike, he actually does give some good advice here, because he says, put him on hold.
What the hell are you doing?
I'm saving you. He was blowing you off.
He wasn't blowing me off.
He'll be expecting you to call him, and when you don't, he'll call back.
How do you know?
Because I know how men operate. If you want it to work out with this guy, then you'll listen to me, and you'll do exactly as I say. You've probably already done irreparable damage with your psycho-aggressive control freak phone call. It might even be too late. And if you do salvage the situation, you'll never be more than Abby, his desperate neighbor.
I'm not desperate.
And then they have a chat about, here's what's going to happen. If I can get you, dating this guy, then you need to give me free reign of my show. You got to be my producer. You got to do good. Like, you got to trust me.
Yeah.
And I actually did enjoy this premise.
Yeah, me too.
For the movie. And I'm not a fan of the whole you got to play games with the guy to get the guy. And, you got to kind of pull him along. But listen, there are times you do actually need to play those games. And when you know a guy is blowing you off, much like Colin, Mr. Doctor Man, was about to do to Abby, Mike Chadway gives her some great advice.
Oh, fine, what do I do?
Pick up the phone and say, hey, Doug.
Why would I?
Just do it.
Hey, Doug.
No, this is Colin.
Oh, my God. I'm so sorry.
Who's, Doug?
He's just a guy I'm seeing. It's nothing serious.
Just a guy I'm seeing. It's nothing serious.
Oh, okay.
Hang on a second.
Hang on a sec.
Sure.
Now what?
Just make him wait. If he's still holding on after 30 more seconds, you may actually have a chance.
They hang up on Colin. And then as he calls back, Mike's like, no, don't even answer. Get it, like, we got other things to do. And I actually fully agree with that, because that would confuse, like, if I know I'm not even going to break up with a girl. If I know I'm never going to date a girl, and that scenario goes down, I am both confused and intrigued just enough to stay interested for maybe another 24 hours.
Interesting.
I might follow up the next day or that evening to be like, hey, like, what in the world happened there? I was on hold. You hung up on me. I tried to call back. You're just gone? Like, what does that even mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. The rules are as follows. Never criticize. Laugh at whatever he says.
Rule number 4. Never talk about your problems, because men don't really listen or care.
Some men care.
No, some men pretend to care. When we ask you how you're doing, it's just guy code for let me stick my in your ass. Oh, I know you think Colin is above it all, but trust me, he's a guy.
How do we feel about these rules?
I can go line by line.
Ooh, okay.
Never criticize. Men are incapable of growth, change, or progress, is what he says. Completely disagree with this.
Yes, I agree. I agree with you disagreeing them.
Okay, yeah. Like, I mean, I believe that you can't change a guy's core personality. And there, you know what, let's work it out to a percentage. There is a percentage of change that you cannot affect in a male. I'm going to say it's like 85%. A lot of those core things, he's not, that's not going to be any different. But there's a, hey, I need you to help out around the house a little bit more. I need you to put your socks away. I need you to put down the toilet. I think you can expect a guy to change within a reasonable amount.
I like how you said the toilet seat one, because that was
was
one for me. Yeah.
And I just don't like the idea of, oh, my boyfriend's a piece of shit, but I don't want to criticize him because, hey, men can never change. It's like that's actually kind of toxic to go about life that way.
And then it also goes to, like, is it that men can do no wrong, right?
Right. Well, I grew up this way, and this is the way I am.
Yeah.
You can't change me, right? Laugh at whatever he says. It's like a fake orgasm. It's still better than normal orgasm.
But sometimes they're just not funny.
But you know what? I can live with that one in the formative moments of the relationship. Throw some fake laughs in there. Everybody, and you know what? Yeah, but I think guys should do that as well. Girls like being funny too.
Yes. Yeah, I think these are both go both ways. Yeah.
Yeah, he says men are very visual. That's just a fact.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Never talked about your problems. Guys don't care. I guess, I'll say, should you become a better storyteller? Perhaps. I don't need to know about every moment of your day. Don't tell me about how the barista shortchanged you 25 cents on your latte, or how you were 30 seconds late for your Zoom meeting. Give me the highlight reel, because when I ask how your day was, I actually do
genuinely care.
Yeah, you should genuinely care when you ask that question. So yeah, I disagree with that one as well. Oh, men like something to grab onto aside from your ass. That was the last thing he says.
Oh, I missed that one.
True, that's a fact.
From experience, like I don't even know what to say.
There was a range of emotions that happened in Sarah's face.
I had a few there.
Every facial reaction.
Yeah.
So wait, I've got a question. We talked about Abby
Mm-hmm.
and how she's, I think they use the term control freak, how she's really tightly wound up.
Yes.
How I would still go on a date with her even though she has my, all of my information in front of her. I still think that date would be interesting. Would you date Mike Chadway, Gerard Butler, knowing that he is all of these things?
I'd probably see what he's all about, and then I would probably make my decision after the first date.
Oh, so that's not a no.
He has
all these rules, Sarah. Look at him.
Yeah, it's not like he's wearing a sign with the rules. Like, I don't know what the rules are until
These
I
are my
go,
rules,
yeah,
ladies.
like, if that's the case, then no. If he had a sign he's carrying around and that had the rules on it, I'm not in for that. However, if we go on a date and I find out these rules, then I might not, it's the first date and you already have these rules that are trying to control, like, what the next few dates or months or our relationship will be.
And is he going to say those rules, or is he just thinking those rules?
No, he's going to have a sign with them.
Right. He wears a T-shirt. You got to get a printed T-shirt with the rules.
Yeah.
So you would continue to date him, potentially.
I think if those were the rules that he put out the first date, probably not. Just because you don't even really know me and you're already making all these rules. I do like how in this movie he is teaching her how to be in a relationship. Usually it's the other way around in rom-coms.
Yeah, where the woman is fixing the guy, right?
Yeah. So it's someone teaching the guy how to be in a relationship usually. And it's kind of like the movie She's All That.
Oh, it's very She's
right?
All That. Yes, good comparison.
I had some good comparisons this time.
So Mike agrees. I'm going to help you date the heck out of Mr. Dr. Man Colin. Their first actual date is like a Devil's baseball game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This is my best scene, so I'll talk a little bit more about it.
Ooh. Man, this was a good scene. Okay, we can talk about that later.
Can we talk about the gift that Mike gets Abby, though?
The vibrating panties?
The vibrating underwear. I don't have words.
So to help spice up her bedroom life ahead of her date with Mr. Dr. Man Colin, Mike Chadway gets her what I consider to be the stupidest gift.
Ridiculous.
He gets her vibrating panties.
I don't have words because she decides to try them on right before she heads out for a date with Dr. Man. Why would you do that?
Well, you gotta try them on. You gotta try on the merchandise.
Not maybe when you first get them, but not right before. First off, they're black underwear. She's wearing a white dress.
Okay.
There's so many things wrong. Why are you putting them on as 5 minutes before Dr. Man comes to pick you up?
It's funny. That's the problem you have with this. So as it turns out, Mike Chadway shows up and says, hey, there's a bunch of investors.
Corporate dinner.
There's some corporate people. Did you not get our email? You're coming on the dinner. She says, oh my God, I've got a date with Mr. Dr. Man. We got to do that. And he says, bring him along. So she's wearing these vibrating panties to dinner, and lo and behold, some kid gets a hold of the remote.
Because it falls out of her purse.
And he starts hitting the buttons, and all of a sudden, her panties are vibrating at dinner.
Can you stop saying panties?
Sorry.
Can you just say underwear? Just say underwear.
They're vibrating.
Underwear.
Undergarments.
It's underwear.
Does that word bother you?
No, it's just funny the way you're saying it. And her panties start vibrating. Why?
Because some people do genuinely have a problem with that word.
That's fine. I don't particularly.
Are you sure you don't? Because
however,
you're
in
making
this
me
context,
not say it
all
anymore.
I was gonna say was just the kid starts using it, and all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna leave it at that.
But here's my problem. It's funny. You have a problem with when she puts on the undergarment.
You have a problem with
the garment itself.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's stupid. Why would I purchase this for you?
That's like a gag gift that you get.
It is. Well, I'm not. Okay. Obviously, my anatomy is different. From what I know of things of pleasure sources for females, I don't know a single one who buys those for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it was a gift.
Right, but it's if he thinks this is a practical gift for a female,
yeah.
I don't think it is. And I think that's you're taking a little bit of credibility hit here. I'm just saying I feel like there's a better gift out there. If that is
there is definitely a better gift.
If that's
out there.
the end result you want, there are much more practical things to purchase. I'm not going to go into detail, but I think you all know what I'm talking about.
So at this point, Dr. Mann and Abby are dating, and you can see that Mike is getting a little bit jealous. He's starting to have feelings for Abby. Dr. Mann is essentially the perfect guy for Abby, checks off all the boxes, loves picnics, going for long drives, brings her flowers, all of that.
Checking all the boxes.
Except for the caviar, but all the boxes are checked.
Yeah, and that kind of translates to the show. You know, Abby is giving Mike Chadway a little bit more leeway on the ugly truth. He's getting a little bit of notoriety.
So Mike gets offered to be on the Late Night show, and he takes it. Later, we find out that he's also been offered a gig in San Francisco, and the talk show is his audition. He doesn't end up taking it in the end, but Abby has to cancel her very romantic getaway with Dr. Mann to go and see Mike in San Fran to convince him not to leave. Abby and Mike, they get close, and
they're at this nightclub. It seems, or like some kind of
I think they're for dinner.
Yeah, they go for dinner, but it's like there's a dance floor, so I don't know, it's somewhere in between. There's the classic dance scene where he says like, hey, why don't we dance? And then all of a sudden, ooh, sparks start to fly. We're seeing some chemistry, ladies and gentlemen, from Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl here. They decide, hey, let's just go back to the hotel, let's call it a night. They make out in the elevator.
They do.
A very passionate makeout, actually.
Yes. They like almost leave and then they come back. And
yeah. One thing that I find a lot of these movies around this era, like the storytelling isn't always perfect, but when the chemistry happens, I believe it, you know? And Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl, when they were making out, I thought he's tearing his clothes off her. You know, here we go. It's happening. And I believed all of it. And then they agree, okay, wow, that was, let's go to bed. Good night.
They go back to their own rooms, and a few minutes later, there's a knock at Abby's door. She immediately thinks that it's Mike, but it is Dr. Mann. He surprised her, which is super cute, but she was totally expecting Mike to be the one on the other side of that door.
Expecting and also probably hoping.
Yeah.
Later on, who shows up but Mike?
Well, yeah, because he finally works up the courage to go to Abby's room.
And we saw him in a little bit of a vulnerable moment. I think he was actually letting his emotions not take control, but he was allowing her in. Hey, I actually have feelings for Abby, and I gotta tell her how it is. It's kind of the monologue he was having under his breath as he was walking to her hotel room. Opens the door. Mr. Dr. Mann there's, yeah.
He makes up some excuse, leaves. Abby runs out after him, and then things fall apart. You know, they have this quick conversation about what happened in the elevator, and it was nothing, and they kind of part ways. She goes back into the hotel room and asks Colin why he likes her. He says he likes her, that she's not a control freak, trying to always control every situation, and that it's a breath of fresh air. She tells him that the champagne should have been chilled, and that the entire time he was talking just now, she was editing his speech.
Yeah, the champagne should have been chilled, though, to be fair. That's
obviously.
Rookie move. Come on, man.
And that she couldn't show that she was, in fact, a control freak, because who would love someone like that? And adds that she hasn't been herself the entire time that they've been together, and proceeds to take out her extension as if it's a big reveal.
Yeah, that was actually really funny when she's like, hold on, and she takes out her extension, and it turns out that she has this really adorable, shorter haircut.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
Yeah.
This was like a big revelation here. Oh, got it.
That's the big reveal. That's like, she's all that. She takes off her glasses and she's,
like,
you know.
Oh,
yeah.
She's beautiful.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
Fast forward a few days, and Mike is now working at a different TV station with his show.
The job.
He didn't take that job.
You're right. He took another job in Sacramento.
At a competing TV station.
So he was up for like a big gig in LA, but it turns out he just wants to be with his sister
and
her son.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants to be a father figure, which is really, it's kind of beautiful.
Yeah. And in place of him on Abby's TV show, on Abby's TV station, they've hired a terrible guy who is just offensive. And honestly, I'm not even going to continue to talk about his character because it was that bad. Moving on.
Yeah. So then she basically kicks the guy off the air live on the air. And Mike Chadway
rushes over.
It's this hot air balloon, I don't know, festival.
It's a festival.
So like all the TV stations theoretically are there, and Mike Chadway is watching from a van what's happening on the other TV station. He sees Abby, who basically takes that opportunity to talk a lot of shit about men and like all
lots
these
of
rules
shit.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's one of those moments when he's like, she's probably just right over there. So he walks over while she's live on the air. They get into a little tiff.
Yeah, total heated argument.
They go up in the hot air balloon.
They don't realize that till it's too late.
Yeah, they don't realize that there's a feed in the hot air balloon, so everybody can hear what's happening, and then they...
You're right. I had a momentary lapse in judgment when I thought you were more than you are, but you aren't, clearly.
Oh, yeah? What does that mean?
I'm like Chadway. I like girls in Jell-O. I like to fuck a monkey. Don't fall in love. It's scary.
Oh, for God's sakes, there's the first one.
Yeah, it is scary. It's terrifying. Especially when I'm in love with a psycho like you.
I am not a psycho.
Love?
Oh.
I just told you that I loved you, and all you heard was psycho. Well, you're the definition of neurotic.
No, the definition of neurotic is a person who suffers from anxiety, obsessive thoughts, compulsive acts, and physical ailments without any objective evidence.
Shut up. Yet again, I just told you I'm in love with you, and you're standing here giving me a vocabulary lesson.
They have this reconciliation style make-out sesh.
Yes, and
they come back together.
I have to say, I have totally wanted to ride in a hot air balloon. I've never ridden in a hot air balloon, and I've always wanted to do that. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Like, outside of some of the jokes not hitting the same way they should in 2021, there's a nugget of, it's Katherine Heigl and Gerard Butler, and they're two great actors and actresses at what they do. There's, like, the bones of this movie is good.
I mean, we also have to remember it's an R-rated movie.
It is, yes.
So, you know, some of the jokes may not hit anymore, but the essence of the movie, like, you know, the overall...
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Movie is good. The movie ends with Abby, you know, saying that she broke up with Colin, and Mike admits that he loves her. Abby kisses him, and they fly off, all of which is broadcast due to the camera, like you said, being mounted in the balloon. The film ends with Abby and Mike in bed.
Oh.
So cute.
Quick facts.
Katherine Heigl was 29 when she played Abby in this movie.
Can I guess? Gerard Butler was 35.
No, he was 38.
Wow. Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So
different.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that there was such an age difference. Gerard Butler and Craig Ferguson are very good friends in real life. So much so that Gerard has been a guest on the real Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson several times.
Oh, that's cool.
When Abby goes on a date with Colin to the baseball game, the score is shown as 4-1. Even after the team hits a running score, the score doesn't change.
Ooh, a little plot hole.
The film was shipped to theaters with the title Helpful Advice.
Helpful Advice actually sounds like a cute name for a romantic comedy.
Yes, it does, actually. That's a good title. The director and Katherine Heigl worked together on this movie, but that wasn't the last time they worked together. After this movie, they worked on the movie Killers in 2010 with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, I actually like Killers.
With Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah, why did you say Kutcher?
I don't know.
You know what? There's obviously the rap with Katherine Heigl that she's horrible to work with. Clearly, this director enjoyed her enough to cast her in 2 movies back to back.
The cast members in the movie refer to their morning station as a network program. However, it seems to be a local TV station only.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
Did you ever watch the TV show Even Stevens growing up?
Not really, but I knew of it.
Okay.
Obviously.
So I loved that show growing up. It had Shia LaBeouf in it. Anyway, the dad in the show is played by Tom Virtue. He is the hot air balloon pilot in this movie.
Whoa.
The show Even Stevens also takes place in Sacramento. Gerard Butler went behind the scenes of Adam Carolla's namesake podcast to observe him in order to prep for this role. He wanted to understand the male chauvinist man's man and the persona he was going to have for this role.
Yeah, when off the top when I was talking about Joe Rogan, I was trying to remember Carolla because, yeah, I thought that was another similar comparison.
When Abby calls into Mike's TV show, he asks her if she's calling from Europe. It is technically wrong because it's simply not possible for Europe to receive the streaming of his show. The poster for this movie was shown in the background at the movie theaters in Happy Ending in 2014. Best scene. My best scene is the baseball game scene. So we kind of touched on it earlier. Mm-hmm. It was a mess on so many levels, but it was hilarious. So Abby has Mike like a little earpiece in her ear, and Mike is on the other end, and he's also sitting in the game, and he can see her, and he's basically coaching her on like what to talk about, what to say, like how to act and everything. And she spills her drink on his pants, and then she proceeds to grab his napkin and vigorously tries to get the stain out of his pants. That's literally the nicest way possible I could say that without it sounding super dirty. Because there's like a kiss cam, and like that kiss cam is showing something other than them possibly kissing.
Based on the angle, it looks like something much less innocent is happening. And like that's such it's a classic kind of theme. It happens in spy movies when, like, you know, somebody's talking into the earpiece, like, you gotta go left, no, right, no, left. And like this one where somebody recognizes Mike Chadway, this woman goes up to hug him, and then the boyfriend is like, hey, man, and Mike Chadway says, like, get the fuck off me, man. And Katherine Heigl's character, Abby, thinks that that's what she's supposed to say.
So she starts,
like, fuck off, man. And Mr. Man Colin.
Yeah. He's like, what? Oh my God. Like, I would be so confused in that moment. Like, I'd be like, what is happening? Like, what? Yeah. Did you just swear at me and tell me to, like...
Totally. My best scene is any scene with the married news anchors.
Oh my God. That's
Hilarious
such a great one.
Oh, it's so good.
It is so good. They were really good in this.
I thought they were perfect. And this movie was good. It kind of had its moments, but I thought any time when they were on screen together, it kind of brought the movie back into comedy that didn't need to be crass for it to be comedy.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a really great point.
Larry and Georgia, played by John Michael Higgins. Cheryl Hines is Georgia. They're also kind of the quintessential, I've seen you in like 8 different movies, but I just can't place you type of people. Like, I'm pretty sure John Michael Higgins, is he not a lawyer on Arrested Development?
Yes, I believe so. And he's also in Pitch Perfect as the commentator for the competitions. And he is so funny. He is paired with Elizabeth Banks.
Yes.
Oh my God. They are just fantastic together in those movies. Oh my God. They provide such comedic relief.
Honorable mentions.
I don't have any honorable mentions.
My honorable mentions are Larry and Georgia. I just love them so much. I already said it, but they brought such a warmth, an easy story arc. You know, they're married, they're bickering at the beginning. Mike Chadway comes in. They end up, you kind of see the whole flow of the relationship. You know, he gets down to, you know, what exactly is happening in the relationship. By the end, they're making jokes about how he's going to show her his anaconda or whatever, and I thought you got a very pleasing story arc that was really, really funny, and we didn't really need to get into the nitty-gritty of it for it to be funny. What should have been?
So my what should have been is that Colin Doctorman should have ended up with Izzy Stevens, who Katherine Heigl played in Grey's Anatomy.
Oh my God. Whoa! Sarah! The only problem is that Grey's Anatomy is set in Seattle?
Yes.
But then she leaves after like season 4, right?
Does. Yeah, I can't remember what season she leaves after, but yes, she does.
Where does she go? Possibly to Sacramento.
I think that's where she went.
Mr. Dr. Man Colin. Ooh, yep. I like it. I think that what should have been is that Colin, Mr. Dr. Man, in another universe, maybe he's kind of like he kind of has like a Prince character sort of vibe, right?
Yes, he does. He definitely does. He could
Classically
play Eric on The Little Mermaid.
Maybe he ends up on a boat. What is he doing on the boat? I'm serious. You can look at my screen.
No, you haven't?
Called it.
What?
He's sailing to new and interesting locations, and one day this gorgeous woman with fiery red hair stumbles onto the beach. They connect, but she can't speak. Why can't she speak, Sarah?
Because Ursula stole her voice.
That's right. That's genuinely, I thought Colin should be Prince Eric in. I know they're doing a live action Little Mermaid
Little
remake.
Mermaid? That's
I think
so
they've
great.
cast everybody they want in it, but hey, maybe throw Colin out here. He looks like an Eric to me.
That's amazing.
Yeah, same page.
Definitely.
Rewatchability.
Storyline.
1.
I have 2.
Yeah.
Thirst factor.
2. I put a 2.3. I don't know why. A 2.5.
I have it as a 3.
Okay. I actually should give them more because they are both very attractive people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Imagination.
I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 2.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I thought, like, how many movies are like this? Morning Glory, perhaps. It's not really a rom-com, though. It's just a straight comedy with, like, a tiny bit of rom in there. So I thought it was a little interesting.
Soundtrack.
4.
3.
There were a few songs in there.
There was some Katy Perry. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Cheese.
2.
2.
Wow.
Yes.
So my overall score is 2.8.
Mine is 2.5.
Wow, we're kind of... 2.5 is exactly...
Middle.
Wow.
Middle of the pack.
So this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of The Ugly Truth. A little bit of a faster episode today.
Yes.
Those aren't too bad. We've been getting long lately.
Yeah.
We're drinking some Gamay Noir from Casadea Winery in Ontario. Just want to give them a little plug. It's lovely. I don't really know what a Gamay Noir is, but it's tasty. This has been the Rom-Com Rewind of The Ugly Truth. Follow us on Spotify if that is where you're listening. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Also, leave a review. We love to read them. We love to read them at the intros of our podcasts. Maybe we'll read yours next. And as well, follow us on Instagram at Rom-Com Rewind.
Thanks for listening.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.